In its first scene, a character named Thor is revealed. He is now shown in Demon's captivity. He sees Demon in front of him, whose name is Sweater. He comes to him and calls him Odin's son. He tells that Odin is not in this unknown place, and he says that this place will not remain an unknown place anymore, and this kingdom will soon be destroyed. As Ragnarok had told about the future, and he says, "This is my crown, which is the source of my power." Thor puts his hand in the air, and suddenly a flying hammer comes in his hand, which breaks his chains and frees him. Thor starts killing Demon's army, which are like strange animals, with his hammer, and then also fights with Demon. Demon attacks him with a lot of fire, but Thor survives, and in fact he also takes off Demon's crown and puts it on his shoulder and goes into chains. This shows that he defeats the Demon of Fire. While Thor is fighting this strange creature, he sends a message to Karjan, who is a new character. He is a member of this army. He quickly takes his sword and puts it in a located place, due to which the bifloor, which is a bridge, opens between Earth and Oscar, and Thor gets up and comes back to Karjan. Then he asks Skrew about Heimdall, who is his protector, whom Skrew calls a traitor. And he says that Heimdall was a traitor, and he did not do his duty to the Odin, and he showed negligence in his duty. But he also disappeared before the trial. After this, Skrew turns his hammer and gets up and goes towards Oscar and goes up from the top of the building. Going there, he sees a statue standing with outstretched hands, and many people are watching the performance of a play, and he calls the old man standing there as father, who is his adopted brother, Loki, who has taken the form of his father, and shows him the fire demon keys, and tells him to lock him in the vault so that he does not take the form of a very big giant and destroy this beloved, and does not take his hammer, throw it in the air, and says that no one can stop him. He puts his hand on the backside of Loki's neck. In reality, Loki recognizes that this Loki is his brother, who has taken the form of his father. As soon as Loki's face comes, he returns to his original form of Loki and moves aside. Everyone gets surprised. Loki asks, "Where is his father Odin?" He does not like Thor and says that everything was better before you came. You have ruined everything. Then Thor moves towards him in a threatening way and asks that you killed your father, and pushes him and puts his hammer on him, on which he starts telling about the future. In the next scene, Thor is in New York City and also in the dress of a common man. They reach the construction area. Suddenly, fire burns in a circle at Loki's standing place, and he is pulled towards the ground and disappears. At this place, he sees a chit lying on which an address 127A is written. He reaches this place and knocks on the door, but magically goes inside, and there he sees a man flying in the air and coming to him. He calls him the Honor of Thunder. Thor says that now there is a magician on Earth as well. The man says that it is better to call him Master of Mystic Art. Then after this, the man says that I have heard about many individuals who have come from another world, who are a threat to the Earth, and one of these people is also your adopted brother. Why did you bring him here? Bring him... Then he tells Thor that he is looking for his father. The man says that if I tell him the address of your father, will you finish the party and leave soon? Then Thor agrees to this, and he tells that Odin is in Norway. Thor asks the man to bring his brother back, and he magically brings back Loki. After that, they reach an open area magically. Odin is also present in that open area, who is the father of Loki and Thod, and he is blind. He tells Thor and Loki that my sons, I was waiting for you. You know that your mother calls me? I am dying, and tells that I have stopped Ragnarok by killing the fire demon, and says that no, she is still coming towards us and my time has come. He asks, who are you talking about? On this, Odin takes a name and says Hela, and says that this is the honor of death. She is my first daughter and your sister, and she has a violent nature and is out of my control. I could not stop her, so I imprisoned her. Then he tells that Hela has taken her power from Ascot, and once she reaches Ascot again, then her power will be lost. When Thor asks if we can stop her together, he says no, you will have to face her alone. Saying this, he transforms into golden light and disappears above the water. He dies. After this, he gets very upset and thunderlight comes out of his hands. Suddenly, a green light comes from the front, and from this place, a girl named Hela comes, who, according to the myth, is the honor of death. Coming there, she asks Loki and Thor to bow before her and says that I am your Malka, but Thor says that I cannot even think that I will bow before you. In this way, he throws the hammer towards Hela's face, but Hela stops it with one of her hands and breaks it into small pieces. Thor has lost his hammer. After this, there is a slight blast, and Hela's look changes, and horns appear on her head, and weapons in her hands. Loki looks upwards and makes a loud noise. Loki gets scared of Hela that suddenly Thor and Loki go up in the brace by climbing through the Bifrost Bridge like superheroes. But Hela follows them and makes Loki fall. She fights with Thor and makes him fall too. After some time, she reaches the place where Scourge is. Where the path has been opened, she goes there and kills that army and uses her weapons, but Scourge succumbs to it. On this, Hela says that you have the power to survive. You look smart. Thor falls at the same place, and many things are also falling from the sky after breaking, and he is close to the water. After some time, a spaceship comes there and aliens come out of it and attack him, and he puts his hand in the air to take his hammer mesmerically. But he remembers that Hela has broken the hammer, but he starts fighting with them with his strength. Who has such a gun which traps thought, and an iron net comes around him? Everyone together starts hitting him. Meanwhile, another spaceship comes, which is like a cannon. A girl comes out of it. She attacks it with the spaceship and kills all these aliens. After that, she makes Thought unconscious through a disc and puts him in her spaceship and takes him to a place. It is a planet which is surrounded by cosmic gears. The leader of this place is Grandmaster, and he organizes contests and competitions here. When Thor regains consciousness, he is locked on a chair. In the kicker, that girl sends Thor to that Grandmaster for 10 million. Grandmaster introduces himself to Thor as a soldier and says that I am a contest champion. People participate in it even if they don't want to, and you are also a part of it. Thor says that I am not going to do anything like this, but I am going back to today, and sees that Loki is also there, but Loki refuses to recognize the Grandmaster. But Thor tells the Grandmaster that this is my brother. The Grandmaster says that you call yourself the Honor of Thunder. And here is a deal for you. As if you want to go back to Asgard then. This way any fighter who defeats my champion can get freedom. Thor says loudly in which direction I have to go. Grandmaster locks him in a place where there is already a rope-made man who is a rope man. He tells him that whoever fights with Grandmaster's champion dies because he is a very fearsome champion, while Asgard has Hela and introduces herself in front of the army and says that I am Hela and I am the commander of Asgard, the first daughter of Odin, who is the heir to the throne, and I have the honor of death. She asks them to bow down in front of the army. She says that my father has died. We once held the powerful seat in this world, and no one in this world could compete with us. It was written in our fate to hook everyone, and I have come here to take this power again. Then a man from the army comes forward and says that whoever you are, you have to surrender right now, or else we will not show any mercy on you. Hala gets angry, and she again transforms herself into a horned man, and the man moves forward to fight with him with his tools. But Hala kills his entire army and also kills this man, and there are dead bodies everywhere. Then Skars arrives. He gets upset after seeing this. Hala says that the poor soldiers of Palavja were killed. They could not see the future. It is very sad. Then Hala takes Skars to show her palace. There are some paintings there, and she says that look at the ceiling paintings there. See this lie and breaks all these paintings and says that we are unstoppable. I am the weapon of the one who created the empire of Oscar. Then she tells, one by one, all the sultanates became ours, but my desire increased. Odin threw me out of here and imprisoned me like an animal. Then Hela goes to the eternal flame and holds that fire in her hand. After this, she opens her X-ray in the ground and jumps inside it. Where the skeletons of dead soldiers are kept, she goes to the skeletons of the skeletons. She comes close to him and says that you will be reborn from the eternal flame, and everyone gets up again and also revives one of her black wolves, who grows up. After this, Hela sits on the throne, and Scourge becomes the leader of his army. Hela asks Scourge, "What is your wish?" Scourge says that I just want a chance to prove myself. Hela says that when I was young, I used to execute people only. After this, she tells that my job was not only to execute people, but also to execute their vision. Then she says that I have become the executioner of the Audion, and maybe you have become my executioner. They start their conquest. Skull and Hela go to the place where the sod of the Bifrost building is, but there is no sod there. It has been stolen. Hala says that the sword is a key to open the Bifrost, and Heimdall, who is serving the people of Asgard, steals this key so that he can protect the people. This kind of story is going on, who is trying to get out of that planet, as the stone-made man takes him to a place where there are many weapons and asks him to take one. He says that I wish I had my hammer. When I used to swing it fast, it used to create the ability to fly in me. She used to take him with her. You come to know that the girl who brought him here is her. That is, she was a warrior from the female soldiers of Asgard who was here. He asks her for help, but she goes away calling him a bastard. After that, the champion contest starts, and the Grandmaster comes in front, and he says that I am your host in this show. Many people come to watch the show and also do clapping. Then the door opens from the top, and the Honor of Thunder also comes there, and everyone welcomes him. After a while, his computer comes in front, which is of green color, and his name is Hulk, and he is much bigger than Thor in size. As soon as Thor sees that big man, he says yes, because he is Thor's friend. Banner attacks Thor with a Hulk, and he is very dangerous. He continuously punches him on the face. Thor is beating him. Meanwhile, Thor sees his father's victory. A cold light comes in Thor. He throws the plow away with his strain, and he starts winning. Then the Grandmaster makes him unconscious through his disc. In the next scene, when Thor wakes up, he sees the person with whom he is telling him that I have come here through a spaceship. Then he tells him that Oscar needs me and that is my home world. If I do not save him, it will be destroyed. He looks out of the window and closes his eyes. He sees Heimdall's vision and he says, "You can see me. I need your help." When he opens his eyes a little, his eyes turn orange and he is in front of Heimdall, as he says that I can see you, but you are very far away. While going through the people of today, he tells him that I am giving these people a strong place which our forefathers have built. After this, he opens his eyes a little. He also asks for help from the same girl who brought him here. After that, he says that we will form a team and fight them and save Asgard, but she refuses to accompany him, saying that if Hela was not in the control of the audience, then she would kill everyone in the palace and she needs everything for the throne, that I am not doing all this for the crown, but to save the lives of these people who are dying. In this way, he leaves the window glass and goes out and then jumps from the building and tries to get a spaceship. After that, he finds the engine spaceship and goes inside. Then a recording of a girl is played there. Hulk also reaches there. As soon as everyone listens to the recording of the girl, he changes into his normal being, changes into my banner. On the other hand, Grandmaster is very angry, and he sends Loki and that girl Valkyrie to bring him. Mythor believes that he has stolen its champion. Loki and Valkyrie leave to retrieve him after hearing the Grandmaster's orders. Later, Valkyrie agrees to help Thor. Valkyrie tells that there is a way to get out of here through a warm hole. Then Thor needs a spaceship to get out of here, which he steals from the Grandmaster's spaceship. He tells Loki that he knows about the Grandmaster's security course, but Loki cannot be trusted so much because Thor says that Loki has betrayed him many times. On the other hand, Thor talks to all the people who are the escorts of Thor, asks them who has stolen the boy Ford. It is also the same, and a very big black wolf is sitting behind it, whom he has brought alive. Then she points towards a girl, and she is brought and thrown on the ground. That girl cries. Then Hela signals to Thor to take his life. She does this only to scare people so that someone tells the truth about her sword. During this, a boy comes forward and says that I know where the sword is. Later it is revealed that Heimdall has stolen the sword to save people. Then Hela goes to the same place with Scourge where Heimdall has hidden everything. He has already been taken to a bridge where people are. Meanwhile, Valkyrie, Thor, and his companion Banner also reach there, and they reach there through the spaceship. Valkyrie wears a casual dress and prepares tools for the fight, while Thor sits on his throne. That is, he sits on his throne and hits the stick on the ground loudly, hearing which Hela reaches there with this sword. Hela says, "You are still alive." After this, she says that I drowned the whole civilization in tears and blood. Then one day I wanted to become a kind king, to create peace and save lives, and says that I know you are angry and you are my sister, but you are very bad. On this, Hela gets angry, and she says that get up from the throne. You are on my seat, and says that one day Father had said that a wise king does not want to fight. On this, Hela says, but he is always ready for a fight. The fight between Hela and Thor starts. On this, Hela, she attacks him and blinds him with one eye, or he is already blinded with one eye. Heimdall takes all the people of Asgard to the Bioforce Bridge, which is between Asgard and Earth. But Hela's huge black wolf also reaches there. He starts attacking them. Meanwhile, Hawk, who had become a normal being, changes himself again into Hulk and a big man, and he attacks the wolf when on the other side Valkyria is also attacking her with a spaceship. Kars also attacks Heimdall with his army, saying return the sword. Ropeman also comes there, who has become Thor's friend and wants to help the people of Asgard. After some time, another voice comes that I am your savior, and I have come to save you. Everyone looks, and it is Loki. He asks everyone to sit in the spaceship. Loki now helps Thor just to save him. Now Thor is fighting with Hela when suddenly he closes his eyes and sees a vision of his father Odin, who talks to him. Odin says that you had both eyes, but you could see the storm picture, so he says that I cannot do anything without the hammer. Odin says that the hammer was not the source of your power, but it was the only thing on which you could focus. Odin says that you are stronger than me. Saying this, Odin goes away from him, leaving all this in his thoughts. Then Hela says, "Tell me, whose honor are you?" Cold light comes out of Thor's hands, and then thunder light comes out of his whole body, and the building starts breaking. Then lightning comes from the sky. He starts killing the army, and also fights with them, and also throws them into the water. But Hela is still alive, and then he comes and says that Hela has to be stopped. Then the thief remembers the crown of 5 gems which is in the vault. He tells Loki that there is only one way in which Hela can die. He asks Loki to bring the crown. After this, Loki runs away to that place. On the other hand, the people of Hamazal are being put in a spaceship so that their lives can be saved. Apart from this, the debt has also become good, and he sacrifices his life to save their lives and puts the crown of the people in the eternal flame so that the Asart, who is a fire demon, can be brought back to life, and in this way demon fire is born again. And he tells Hela that he will defeat you. Hela gets very upset. Now all the people of Asgard are completely healthy, and all are sitting in the spaceship and are safe. While in Asgard, there is a fight between Hela and Demon Fire. Hela attacks Demon Fire, but Demon Fire spreads fire everywhere and destroys Asgard, and it is completely destroyed. It dies. Thor again sees his blind eyes in the mirror, who has become blind from one eye. After that, he looks at Loki and tells him that you are not that bad. Eventually, it is revealed that Thor has become the king of Asgard.